Hey everybody, welcome back. HSC Podcast 114. Getting ready to wrap up season 5 here. So hopefully we'll have some good season ending topics. We'll take a couple weeks off, come back and start season 6 of the NFL season. So in honor of that, we're gonna have some football talk tonight. Of course, while we're top 5. Got Big Box Steve on the mic, Big Smooth, and Fresh West. So we're all here. It's better when we're all here because we've got so many different perspectives.
Well, I'm half here, but yeah, I guess.
Well, in this the top 5 you got, I'm like, we'll see. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll get into that one.
No, it's very interesting, actually. Yeah, because I'm Mr. Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment Tonight, dude. That's you know what I realized is I don't read any Us Weekly.
What's
Is it
that?
still around?
So maybe I'll need to expand my horizons.
I used to have a subscription to Premiere magazine back in the day.
Well, now you got the internet though, so
Yes,
you don't need that anymore.
magazines.
So we're gonna get into some football tonight. Sounds like Derek got some trivia. So I'm glad you're here, Wes, because I'm not good at this trivia on my own. So we're gonna jump in first part trivia. Let's go.
Okay, in honor of NCAA football 25 coming out, I'm giving you some college football top 10 all-time passing yards leaders. Top 10 all time.
Wow. Tim Rattay.
Nope.
It's not on there.
Ty Detmer.
Yes, Ty Detmer is 7.
7.
Oh God, this is not.
Steve McNair.
No.
Really?
Gotta think.
Andre Ware.
Nope.
Oh, this okay. Okay, this is good. Okay.
Danny Warfel.
No.
No way.
Here's one. Think of someone who was in college a long time.
Right. I know. You gotta get those 4 years in.
Or more.
Or more. Well, then you're throwing in guys like Chris Wanke.
No,
he didn't play that well. He was just old. I'm talking people that play. I have 3 recent people. 2 are still in college right now.
Well, Caleb Williams.
Nope.
Really?
Still in college? All right. Wow.
Still in college and throw. Oh, so I don't know. The guy that transferred to Florida State, maybe.
Both the ones that are still in college did transfer this year to different schools.
Why is this one so hard for us, Wes?
Because I don't pay attention to stats like that.
This is funny. When they were doing this one, I got every single one of them except the one of the ones that are still in college. Okay, one has won a Heisman, who's in the NFL right now.
Jameis Winston?
Now, think of schools and like programs and how they like air raids and.
I mean, I'm thinking Texas Tech, and I just can't think of the specific Texas Tech quarterback. Oh, wait a minute. Did you say one's in the NFL?
Yeah.
Like Kyler Murray?
No, we're getting closer.
Okay, Baker Mayfield.
Yes, Baker Mayfield is 10.
Jeez. So we got 7 and 10. That's it.
Yeah, you got 2 that went to 2 more that went to Oklahoma. There is a Texas Tech on here too.
Landry Jones.
Landry Jones is number 3.
Yes, that's 2.
Is Mahomes on there?
But
No.
the Texas, the one that's hard is the Texas, and I know there's a Texas A&M person, and it's not Mahomes, it's not Kingsbury, it's not
Could be Kingsbury.
No, not Kingsbury.
not. Is there a Colt Brennan, Hawaii?
No, but close. Not Colt Brennan.
What?
Andy Dalton?
No.
Andy Dalton.
He's the Texas Tech guy?
Was he?
No, maybe not.
Michael Penix.
No, but you're getting warmer on one of them. Think like Michael Penix.
Bo Nix.
Yes, Bo Nix is 6.
Wow.
Jeez, really? That's insane.
He was there for a million years. Well, there's one on here that played for Oklahoma and Oregon.
Oh, Dylan Gabriel.
Yes, he's 8. So you're missing 1, 2, 4, 5, and 9.
Jeez.
2?
1 and 2.
2. 1 and 2. No. Houston quarterback. He's got to be top 5.
There's a Houston quarterback is number 1.
Case Keenum.
Yes, Case Keenum.
Wow, Case Keenum, huh?
19,217 yards. 2,000 yards higher than number 2.
And then there's a Texas A&M.
Texas Tech. There's a Texas Tech, Hawaii. And then if I say the other 2 schools, they're easy giveaways.
No.
Okay, well, number 5 is Notre Dame.
Recent?
Yes.
Don't tell me it's Sam Hartman. Are you kidding me?
Jeez.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He's
That's
number
as bad as the
5.
Bears. That's as
He's
bad as
number
the Bears.
5.
Well, that's right. He played for like 8 years. That's why he's number. Yeah, okay. Jeez. That's terrible. Come on.
Okay, so 1 or 2 is Hawaii, 4 Texas Tech, and 9 is Boise State.
When did the Hawaii quarterback play? Did he play in the bowl game? Was he?
He was there with June Jones. That's all I remember. Doesn't give me the years.
Is Texas Tech Harrell?
Yes, Graham Harrell,
Right.
number 4. And so you're missing 2 at Hawaii and 9 Boise State.
Oh, nine's Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think of the Hawaii. I can't think of the Hawaii.
This Hawaii one, like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but when they were talking, I'm like, that's the first name that came to my head. This guy. And they didn't get this one didn't get it, this one either. He never played in the NFL.
Jeez.
I guess you'd say probably the greatest Asian.
Timmy Chang.
Yes, Timmy Chang.
Wow.
Chang. Jeez. Number 2.
That's a tough
What are
one.
you guys doing?
That's a tough one.
Graham Harrell's number 4.
It's a lot of guys you wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
Well, just because like you have people that start when they're freshmen.
Right. It's all about knowing how long they played. Well, that was probably the longest trivia that we've ever had.
Yeah. Sorry, audience. I know you're all on your computers like, what about the idiots? They can't get this.
I got one just as hard for you guys now. Going into NFL.
Derek's done doing trivia. I'll do the trivia from now on.
Top 5 Carolina Panthers passing yardage leaders of all time.
Oh,
Kerry Collins.
He's number 4.
Delhomme.
Number 2.
Cam.
Yep, number 1. So you're missing 3 and 5. See, this one's good for you guys. You got
Steve Berline.
Yes, number 3.
Yeah.
And now is it fit number 5? We're on 5, right? A little tougher.
Yep. Yeah, because it's only 3,800 passing yards.
Right. So you just gotta throw out random quarterbacks for the Carolina Panthers.
You know what I'm thinking is when they played Green Bay in the NFC Championship in 1997 and lost. That's what I'm thinking. Or is that Berline? That had
It had to be. Who was their first quarterback?
back in whatever.
Is it him?
Well, if I give you this clue, it will give it away easily. So I don't know. I'll give you a few more guesses first.
Andy Dalton?
No.
That's a good guess, though.
Jeez. This is dumb.
Yeah, maybe go with did he throw for 3,800 yards this year?
No.
Bryce
No.
Young? No.
No.
He's gonna be close.
His name has been mentioned already tonight.
Oh no.
Steve Berg?
Case
No,
Keenum.
and he is a Heisman winner also.
Is it Case Keenum?
No.
Heisman winner that we mentioned already.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Gino Toretta?
Yoda would have a saying for him.
I got nothing.
I can't think of him.
He's too old.
Too old? Oh. Too old.
That played for Carolina.
Florida State quarterback.
Chris Winkie?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
God. Good. What, he was like 31 when he played?
I forgot. I
He's
even
like- he's like a
mentioned
year
Chris
out of-
Winkie.
He was a year out of college. He was like 31.
Well, we were pretty good till 5, so
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did run.
we know the Carolina Panthers a little bit, but
Yeah,
Not too far
Berline
back.
was the holdup on the other one. They were held up on Berline, so
right. Oops. That's not bad though. That's good.
nope.
Okay, so we're gonna jump into NFL after some trivia. Get you some shorts of the trivia. So one of the things I want to test out for the new year is talking about NFL hot topics as we come into the new season. And really kind of focusing on, what does ESPN think are the hot topics and how we can kind of weigh in on those ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Because
Did you say ESPN?
yeah, I mean nobody likes ESPN reporting, right? So we're going to try to help them.
We're gonna
Yeah.
hot take this thing.
It's been a bad couple of weeks for them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So first hot topic on ESPN is Brandon Ayuk. So should the 49ers trade him? What's the perfect fit for Ayuk at this point?
Well, the 49ers kind of screwed themselves. It's like, take care of your people. You're in a championship run. Most times you take care of your people so you can continue that championship run.
Mhm.
They didn't with Ayuk. He's a free agent next year. He's disgruntled, and now he wants out. And the
Yeah,
problem
he's
is,
requested a trade at this point.
Yeah. The problem is what are you you're not gonna get anything to help you this year for Ayuk. It's gonna be draft, you know what I mean? They don't need the draft picks, they need a star receiver. So they're not gonna get that
No,
trading Ayuk.
no, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose some firepower, they're just gonna have to accept that, you know. And can I don't even know the team. I mean, there's so many teams that need a star receiver at this point.
Well, it's probably the Commanders, I would think.
The Commanders, yeah. I mean, the Steelers,
Right.
maybe.
Ayuk and Jaden Daniels played at Arizona State together. There's a huge connection there. He's even like mentioned Commanders.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do if the 49ers, though? Like, you have somebody that's disgruntled, right? If you're not going to pay him, this is his fifth year, final year on the rookie contract. What's San Francisco's options?
Well, you want to pick, and I mean, you would like to have a first. I don't think you can get a first. I think you can get a second and somebody. I mean, I wouldn't give up a first for him. But
I guess the last thing also San Francisco wants is just to go into the fifth year with no terms, no nothing. Why he's requesting a trade, he's going to be a disgruntled, receiver. But he
And they
can't play
drafted,
bad, right? Because he has to get his signing from someone else.
right. And they kind of knew this happening. They drafted Pearsall in the first round.
Right.
They should have traded him on draft day, so they at least could have gotten something for him on the draft. That's their fault. I don't know what they were thinking, like their hubris or something was like, oh, we could just string a Uke along.
Right.
You knew he was going to get disgruntled.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any good right now for San Francisco coming out of this.
no,
So
you're not going to get the value for him. You're losing all those receptions. You're losing your deep threat. You can manufacture it with, but it's just if he's going to be disgruntled, it's just like Diggs. You don't want him around. You get rid of him. You should have got rid of him earlier, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Just get rid of him. Get a second. Get somebody else. Plug and play.
So most likely, though, he plays out this season not happy, and they lose him anyway.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and it's a distraction. It's a Diggs. It's a total Diggs situation. And if I'm anybody else, I'm kind of like, well, if he comes here, is he going to be a headache? Is he going to be like you have? I mean, let's say he. Well, that's not. I mean, just a quarterback that is mid tier, and he goes there and he's not happy with, you know, he's not happy with the offense,
That's the problem is when you start getting this label, like he might get from this whole situation, and then it's hard for people to want to re-sign you next year for big deals.
Well, I think it's totally different. He's not Diggs. Diggs got his money and still complained. Ayuk's just looking to get paid. He saw what Jalen Waddle, AJ Brown, Amon St. Brown, they all got paid. And he's like, well, can I get paid? I am a top receiver in the NFL.
It's like this screams also the Chargers. I mean, it really does. Look what they lost. The Chargers is they have one of the worst skills position teams in the NFL, probably the worst after they lost everybody, and
They're in salary. They don't have any salary cap to take him on, though, do they?
Well, I mean, again, yeah, they'd have to.
'Cause- yeah. He's going to want a contract wherever he goes.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Ayuk is you just have someone right now that just wants their money, right? And that's where he's at. But that turns into something far worse when you don't get it and they don't trade you like you're asking for. And now you're playing a 5th-year rookie contract, and a lot of things are just kind of up in the open.
Well, I mean, you got to look at like if you're an employee somewhere and you see all of the other coworkers getting paid, and you've got, your boss who's still on a contract so everyone can get paid, but they don't pay you. They pay everyone else. Like they
Yeah,
gave,
it's just going to upset him.
yeah, I mean, it's going to upset anyone if he doesn't feel like he's worth anything to them. They drafted a receiver in the first round. They obviously didn't pay him, so he knows he doesn't want to. They don't want him there.
So yeah, again, if he doesn't get traded and now he's unhappy because of the way he's been treated, he doesn't have a great 5th season, then other teams get to lowball him
You know,
because you didn't have, we're looking for a 13 to 1,500 yard guy, and maybe he comes in at 900. So I just the question is that then do you have to still play equally as hard as Brandon Ayuk if you felt like you got slighted, but also you're trying to impress for the new contract?
I think once it gets on the field, he'll play hard and he'll be doing it. But if he gets on the field, he might just hold out and just say,
Right.
screw it.
That's this is an interesting topic because that's kind of what a big thing for the 49ers, right? That'll make a big difference in their offense in the new season.
Well, yeah, because Pearsall was put on the non-injury football list too, so something's going on with him.
All right, so let's hit the next topic here. Top headlines. This one I think is kind of silly, but we'll talk about it anyway. Adams, people talking about Devontae Adams trade speculation. Agent calls it worth or baseless. Any reason the Raiders would move Devontae Adams at this point?
So we suck even more on offense. I mean, what are
It
we gonna
sounds like
do?
something the Raiders might do.
I mean, I honestly I didn't hear that today.
Oh God, it's been everywhere. It's so stupid and ridiculous. Okay. Two things. Also, Josh Jacobs talking shit. He's saying, "Oh, I wanted to come to a winning franchise and da 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 da." Okay, the Packers. Hello, newsflash: you had two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and won two Super Bowls in 30 years. You're telling me that you're one of the greatest franchises around? No, you wasted so much talent. It's unbelievable. And now, oh, the Jets. Okay, well, they should trade him to the Jets. For what? A bag of chips? Excuse me? Aaron Rodgers has like no Achilles.
I mean, come on, they're talking about a second rounder.
Plus, it's just so stupid and unfathomable. Okay, they signed Mike Williams for 10 million. They got Garrett Wilson there already. They can't even get Devontae Adams salary cap. Maybe when you do all these stupid things, they're like, oh, well, maybe the da, 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 da. Look at the salary cap once in a while. They'd have to trade like Leonard Williams or somebody like that to get Devontae Adams on their team. They're not going to do that. It's stupid.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd have to move a lot. I mean, he's got $140 million 5-year contract.
Well, he's got like a 30 million cap hit or something crazy like that.
Well, agent says it's baseless as well, which I mean, when I look at this, I can't see any possibilities of that trade going through with,
Oh,
especially with the Jets.
well, all it is it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Josh Jacobs, because Josh Jacobs is like, ooh, Devontae, why don't you come back to the Packers? Shut up, Josh Jacobs. You're going to be out of the league in 3 years. Screw you.
Don't say that. He's on my dynasty team.
Well,
Stop.
Right.
too bad
You're
because
you're
he's
killing
gonna get
Wes's
hurt
fantasy football team right now.
And then you got Randy Moss is the one talking about, oh, he should get. Forget you, Randy Moss. He didn't even play hard for the Raiders. And then you go, oh, I'm going to go to the Patriots. Did you win a Super Bowl? No, you didn't. You're on the team that went undefeated and then lost the Super Bowl. So you could shut your mouth too. As
Randy
Devontae,
Moss.
Derek's mad.
if like Devontae Adams said, keep your name out of your mother mouth, okay? He's a Raider. He grew up a Raider. Leave him
Yeah.
alone.
All right. I do agree, not as passionately, because honestly, I emotionally disconnected myself from the Raiders quite a long time ago. But still, there's a little bit of Antonio Pierce is kind of giving me a little bit more like, all right, we're gonna at least go out there and we're gonna hit him in the mouth. It's just the offense is what perturbs me. Is we're gonna go with, I guess, Gardner Minshew, or
Really? That's what you're going with?
we're going there,
I think it's
and
going to
then
be
we're gonna get rid of
O'Connell.
Adams. No, we're not. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna fly.
Well, the dumb thing is, everyone's watching the receivers show, and it's showing Devontae Adams getting mad. Oh, I wonder why. Josh McDaniels is the head coach and Garoppolo is the quarterback. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I could see why Devontae Adams.
But you're still as Devontae Adams and not saying that anything, presses him, but like you're still looking at Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew as your quarterback.
Yeah, he likes Aiden O'Connell, so to each his own. I don't
Yeah.
see,
But
but
he probably likes Aaron Rodgers a little more.
right. But he also I don't like you go. That's what's the dumb thing is like, go to the Jets to win championship. You go to the Jets, you're not winning a championship. Sorry.
It just seems like Aaron is just distracted. Like, of course, everyone wants to say, yeah, we're all in. The thing now is whenever a team sucks or they choke like the Cowboys, like 2 weeks later, we're all in. Well, what the hell were you doing 2 weeks ago when you got thumped by the Packers? You guys weren't all in 2 weeks ago. You have the same freaking team. And the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers is the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I played 4 plays, I come back and I don't show up to practices and I go do these dumb things and I'm playing golf. It's like it's optics, you know.
Well, let's
And
let's be realistic about the Jets for a second. Let's say they have a healthy Aaron Rodgers all year next year. Are they not one of the top AFC teams?
No.
Well, I mean, if you look at their roster, yeah, they got talent. I don't think they have a great offensive line, and I think that's going to be their problem is protecting Aaron Rodgers. We don't know how well he can move. And throughout a whole season, he looks like he's aged pretty fast versus Tom Brady, who doesn't really age. I mean, at that age, you didn't really see any difference. We don't know what we're going to see from someone that just came back from an Achilles tear at 40.
Father Time is undefeated. And that's the other thing. It's like, oh, go to the Jets to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite stat is?
Oh.
The Jets, okay? Out of what in the AFC East, the order of winning, where do they fit in winning the AFC East?
Last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last by far. They only won.
No, but here's the thing. 5th, not 4th, 5th. The Colts have more AFC East win than the Jets, and they're not even in the division anymore.
And that was when they were atrocious for years especially when they moved to Indianapolis. I thought what I saw is they've only won 2 in 50 years since they won Super Bowl 3 in 50 some odd years, they've won 2. That's atrocious.
So yeah, go there to win a championship. Come
Well,
on.
I mean, we talk a lot about defense and defense winning championships. Is there an argument that just Jets don't have one of the best defenses?
Problem with defenses is, and you should know this with the Bears, and though, like they don't have a long shelf life. It's like 2 or 3 years, and then you have to rebuild that a defense. You
Well,
know,
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have more than 2 or 3 years.
I know, but I don't know how many more the Jets have left.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, it's also scheme. I mean, they got they got a good defense, but then someone goes down. Who do they have, and do that backups for backups? And a lot of teams don't. It's all about scheme. And I look at Kansas City's defense. I mean, you just throw people in there. Spagnola's got them coached up.
Yeah.
And it's a system, and it's also making the right choices in the right moments. I don't know if the Jets have that. I mean, they got stars, they got studs, but a lot of times in the NFL now, you don't need that. You just do your job. It's a Patriot way. Go out there, do what we tell you, don't screw up. No.
I mean, we went a long way from Devontae Adams to the Jets, but that's okay because I think a big part of that was people talking about Devontae Adams to the Jets. I mean, regardless, I can't see the Raiders being able to do that or many teams being able to take him anyway. So, looking at that hot topic, I think it's probably safe to say when the agent says it's just baseless, we're probably right there, right?
Right. Now, tell me if we're 5 weeks in and the Raiders haven't won a game, then they could talk it.
Now you're trading with Devontae
Well,
Adams.
now he's probably like, okay, man.
Yeah, he's done. Right. No, yeah, that makes sense.
But it's so dumb to do it like I get it around the draft, okay? But after that, it's like, why would people trade players? You're not going to get anything. You're not getting anything immediate for them at all. And right now is the time where everyone thinks they got a chance, right?
Yeah, that's because that's the point. Well, when they find out someone is ready or willing or even hear it wherever, people start to uncover rocks.
Or they have nothing to talk about, so they make stuff up.
Yeah, they should put that on there. So not a lot of great hot topics, to be honest, but
Oh, Tua. Here's a great topic. Tua's great. It's awesome. Just like it's, the Trevor Lawrence. You want to get paid, but you're not producing
right.
these things you put on your finger called rings, or you're not even getting close, and you're going to get you want to get paid. I don't understand it.
Well, he almost did die for them.
Well, when you talk about getting paid, though, right? Like people with stats get paid the same as people with championships in a lot of sports
over a long period of time. True, and also it's like Dak Prescott. He has put up good stats during the regular season, and it's all about selling tickets.
He got paid.
It's all about selling home games. It's all about selling jerseys. And if you're winning, you're selling jerseys. You're making money. I understand why quarterbacks like Dak get paid because you almost have to pay them.
So, Wes, here's the question I have then. Because then the question what you're saying comes down to is Tua worth it, right? Because if you're going to pay a guy like Dax and Joe Burrow, like they haven't won any rings, Joe Burrow's done a little better, but you're talking about the highest paid quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
If you're Miami, are you willing to then add Tua to that?
No. Not yet. Let's see how he does this year. He does not play very well at the end of the season, especially in cold weather. He has physical limitations. I mean, you think for his size he'd be quicker and faster. He's not. He's no Kyler Murray. His arm, he's great at ball placement. He does everything Mike McDaniel wants to a certain extent, except win big games. And so I'd say wait and see if he can make a deep run in the playoffs. Yeah, of course. It's like Baker Mayfield. Look what Baker. You mean Another topic, all the last couple of days, Baker Mayfield makes some stupid comments about him, like, oh, being disrespected. It's like, no, you got respect. You played well last year. You went to the playoffs. You made it to the divisional round, even though you were 9-8, which is not very good. And you played in a terrible. You played in a division with Carolina. Let's put it that way. I mean, you're chalking up 2 losses, like the way Atlanta and New Orleans played. It's like you won, you made a nice run, you get paid. When Tua does that, I say, okay.
So you're not keeping to you're not giving a big contract unless he makes a playoff run.
It's like everyone who didn't believe in Baker's because of his limitations. I mean, when you look at it, these other quarterbacks, they can make all the throws. Even Dak can make all the throws. He just makes sometimes to the wrong team. Actually, a lot of times in the playoffs to the wrong team. They're trying to correct that problem. But, I don't know.
I don't know. That's a correctable problem
Well,
when you choke in the playoffs.
Well, the problem is you get into the point where when you're in the 10 to 15, I mean, I guess you could go to 8 through 15, whatever. It's okay. Are you going to keep that quarterback, or are you going to start all over again? Because that's what you're going to do. You're just going to Tyreek Hill is not getting any younger. So if you don't re-sign Tua and don't bring him in, then you're gonna have to blow up the whole team. And you just re-signed Waddle. You have Hill for. It's kind of like you have to, because if you don't, where are you going to be at? That's what the Jags did. Has Trevor Lawrence done anything?
Right. Yeah. No. I mean that's valid.
It's called lack of options. Yeah.
Right.
There's a
Because
lack of options.
especially if you're either of those teams, Jacksonville or Miami, if you're talking about trying to start over, you're a long way from that because you're an 8-7 or 8-9 or a 9-18, right?
Well, and that's the problem is you have lost my train of thought here. It's where you are is the if you have these teams 9-8, 8-9, whatever the new whatever it is, and you have to pay them, and that's the way the NFL is now. It's whoever's next gets to be the highest. It's not who's the best. It's whoever's next. That's why I was like, okay, Joe Burrow, you're the highest paid. Okay, Herbert, you're the highest paid. Okay, Lamar Jackson, now you're the highest paid. Okay, who's next? And that's what it is.
Does that feel right though, or like what teams should be doing?
Well,
what if you let go of Tua? Let's just say they did.
Who you got next year? The draft sucks.
Or maybe you run with Mike White for a few years.
No, I mean yeah. Well, it just depends. Yeah, they're kind of out of options. They have to pay him at some point, But the idea that people are saying you're disrespecting Tua, it's like, come on. It's like he's going to get paid. Either way, he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
But the fact is that every quarterback next, Baker's mad because he's getting you disrespected me. It's like because you weren't playing that well at times. You make a lot of mistakes. You got some good moments. Got a decent arm. Your commercials suck, but thank God he stopped doing the commercials. I mean, he's got more commercials than wins when is with Cleveland practically.
More commercials than wins, huh?
But it's just, who's next? Actually, that's a great topic. Yeah. Who is next? How low can we go here that the dude's like, hey, I want to get paid?
Yeah, because we're in a situation now where you're talking about who's next, since these quarterbacks keep getting these huge contracts, right? And meanwhile, we talked about those 4 running backs are dinosaurs and not making anything.
I mean, this is a no-brainer. How low can you go? We already went there. Kirk Cousins. I mean, dude, look at that. That dude's just always gotten paid.
And then they still draft a quarter. That's just the dumbest organization in the NFL.
All right, so ESPN didn't have a lot of great hot topics tonight, so that's all we're hit. But I want to wrap up NFL as we get ready for the new season, being what we know right now, who's your Dark Knight Super Bowl pick? So we're not talking about, who has the good odds to
Horse.
win, things like that. Like you got to choose someone who's, not favored to win, who could pull it out? Like who's your next New York Giants against the New England Patriots?
To win?
A team that could win the Super Bowl from that Dark Knight position. And so because I just kind of sprung this on you guys, um, I'll go ahead and start with mine. Oh, and man, you guys aren't going to like this one, or I don't like it either. But you go real deep, you got to look at the Packers. So the Packers had a good run last year, and so painful to talk about as a Bears fan. But they're a dangerous team at this point, right? Because you don't know how fully they're going to gel, even with new guys and new schemes and new learning. They did pretty well, played pretty close even to San Francisco. And that's a scary pick when you're thinking about teams that you're just not sure about. And so I got the Bears. I'm just kidding. I got the Packers are right there for me.
So for me, it's hard because I got a few teams, but I'm like, it's because the Packers made the playoffs and they did well, and I got two other teams that played well in the playoffs. But I mean, I can you can no, I don't think you can because of the off season. Oh man, because I was going to say the Texans because,
That's not really the dark horse at this point, I don't think.
but either of the Packers though. That's
It's a top heavy. There's a top heavy bunch of
Yeah.
teams.
Well, when
Everyone
you look at
talks
it
about
right
that.
now, though, like the Packers may have played well back then, but still, right now, people have them mid to average team.
right. I don't
Where
know.
Texans right now are getting that really top billing.
Well, I just think it's hard because, like, you got the Chiefs. We all know the Chiefs they're the Chiefs. And then if you look at the rest of the AFC West, none of those teams are doing it. Its problem is can you consider anyone in the AFC North a dark horse?
Oh, in the North? No, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think Detroit is a dark
No,
horse.
AFC North.
Oh, AFC North. No, Baltimore is not a dark horse. I mean, Pittsburgh, I would say, because you got a little quarterback controversy happening.
Cleveland.
Cincinnati, not a lot of consistency there. So last year for looks like Higgins, can Burrow stay healthy? I would say they're a moderate dark horse, but Baltimore definitely not. And Cleveland,
Because
yeah, I mean, I'd consider most of them in that. Maybe not Baltimore though, for sure.
I guess I go Cincinnati then.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think that that's someone who could like kind of break out, right?
Well, just because last year was all injuries.
Right.
So out of sight, out of mind.
And I don't imagine Cincinnati's super high on the Super Bowl odds right now. I'm kind of just, not going off of those particular odds, but I'm just guessing. What do you think, Wes?
Um, the team that I think that people don't talk about, even though they're in the playoffs, not getting a lot of noise. The Rams.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um, it's just because there's consistency. You know who you have a quarterback. You know what you got with your receivers. Cooper's coming back, hopefully healthy. I like Blake Corum, picking him up because I think he's a workhorse. I think he can have a great rookie season. They can run the ball. And I think their defense is always going to be solid. And you never know what's going to happen with injuries. I mean, the Niners should win the division, but look they're going to have. They're getting older. They're one of the oldest teams in the league, or the oldest teams in the league. A lot of miles on Kittle and everybody. Even from a wild card position, I think they could be dangerous. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're thinking, though. It's like, how can you find that wild card? I think Rams are kind of what you'd call that dark horse. If the Rams won the Super Bowl, that'd be pretty surprising.
Well, yes, because now I got the odds up. Rams are plus 3,000.
Wow.
So the Bengals are not a dark horse. They are the 5th best.
Yeah, that's a little too close.
Now, the Texans are the 8th best odds, and the Packers are the 10th best odds.
I guess people don't really believe in what the Texans have been doing.
Well, yeah, because they're young. You don't trust young teams.
They're young. But the Packers surprised me a little bit at
They're
10.
super young.
I would say 6. I mean, Packers should be like 6. I mean,
yeah, for one, like some of them, I wonder if it's just popular and teams betting on them.
Yeah, like Cowboys.
The Chiefs are plus 600. The Niners are plus 600. Ravens plus 950. Then the Lions, Bengals, then the Eagles, and then the Bills, which I don't understand why you'd have the Bills that high. Texans, Cowboys, Packers. And then Jets.
And then the Jets. Sorry, Rogers, no Super Bowl for you.
But here's more coverage: the Cowboys and Dak or Aaron. We should count how many times they talk about it in the next 3 months.
Well, opening day is you got the 49ers and the Jets, right?
Is it on Monday Night Football?
I think so. And the best part is Leonard Floyd is on the Niners now, and he's the one that hurt Aaron Rodgers.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Okay, so we got
the
Rams are plus 3,000. You know who's ahead of the Rams? The freaking Falcons.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So, Wes, you got the biggest dark horse.
I would never pick the Falcons. That would be like the last.
You got the Rams at plus 3,000 right now.
Dude, I'm getting done. I'm going to ALNA.
Put $100 on the Rams.
Wes,
play some Baccarat.
The Raiders are plus 10,000.
I don't even want to hear it.
And then
I believe a little more in the Rams than the Raiders. So
yeah. Well, here we go. The Bears are plus 4,000.
Yeah. I can't put any behind that. I'd rather take the Rams. That's only 1,000 difference, and I get a team that actually went to the playoffs last year.
Well, Bears were one game out?
Yeah, back in like week 6.
No, weren't. Well, I mean, they were almost there, and then
they had a chance to maybe knock the Packers out in the last game, but I think it was like week 16 or 15 they were eliminated.
But now they got their quarterback and the receiver signed. Everything's happy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, so we'll wrap up NFL there. Talk about college for a second. Tell us about the new college football.
Well, of course, EA Sports, the servers were down a lot, so I was doing a bunch of offline. And so it's hard though, what? How many years ago was it? 13 or something like that?
For the last college football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different now having a 7-year-old instead of having no kid around. So it's kind of hard to get in games, but it's pretty good.
How's the gameplay? How's the movement? Like, how's it
The
feel?
movements is good. I gotta look into something's going on with like the option plays. It's like it's doing it itself, not letting me do the options. So I gotta look at the settings and figure that out. But I haven't really played any. I was the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, so I haven't played any good teams yet.
Well, I mean, so that leads us into college football season. So I think I'll try that game out as well because I got to see how it goes.
And come on,
But talking
Wes.
about college football season this year, who are we looking at? Who are the top teams? What should people expect coming into this college football season?
It's Big Ten versus SEC, right?
Big Ten added a lot of teams. When you guys look at those two divisions, top to bottom, is SEC still way above? Has Big Ten caught up with their additions? How do those two conferences now compare?
Maybe in a few years from now, but the SEC just got Oklahoma and Texas. So that just counters anything that the Pac-12 has done ever, right? I mean, since USC, Oregon hasn't won anything. Washington hasn't won since 91. UCLA, come on.
Well, here's the thing: is these are the teams you get now. Let's say just now. What you're getting is you got one of the top teams in Oregon as far as talent wise. You just don't know how that's going to play against the Ohio States. And once you start getting deep into the season, Washington's dismantled. UCLA is not good. And USC, there's all sorts of question marks. So, and then the SEC gets Oklahoma and Texas is going to be blockbuster. Alabama with Milrose. I mean, they should do some damage in the playoff, even with they lost people, but they're plug and play. They had guys. I think the SEC is a better conference. I mean, LSU is going to be good. Georgia's going to be the best team in the nation. Mississippi is going to be a dark horse. Jackson Dart, I think is Heisman, Heisman candidate. Texas A&M is going to improve. I just think SEC is just the premier conference, and the Big Ten. I think in a couple of years when Oregon's going to be loaded the next 3 years, they're just going to keep getting players. Washington's going to rebound. They got the infrastructure, and USC is probably going to adjust. So, and you never know what's going to happen with Alabama, with how this is going to work out with DeBoer. I think they'll catch up. I think they'll be equal on equal playing fields in a couple of years, but not right now.
Yeah, so it sounds like both of you are on the same wavelength that even with the moves the Big Ten made, still not even close or, getting closer to alignment with the SEC, but SEC is still going to be far above.
Well, like Wes said, yeah, Oregon should be getting better every year because Lanning's not going anywhere. Phil Knight is just pouring out the money. You still have Ohio State and Michigan. And then you've got USC, who hasn't been really good in a long time. Washington, we don't know what we're going to get with Washington.
It's going to take some time to rebuild. It's going to take them a year probably, and then you can kind of gauge them in a year, maybe even 2 years. It might take because they got hammered. Right. Kind of like just a lot of these Pac-12 schools. I mean, they got hammered, and they lost a lot of their infrastructure, and so now I think they got them. They'll have the money. They'll be back, but we're just even the Michigans. I mean, there's so many question marks about Michigan. They lost a lot. They got hammered. And so we'll see, but I don't see how the SEC is really going to lose anything because these teams are just going to get better.
Well, that's the thing is you bring in Oklahoma and Texas, who are historically powerhouse conference or powerhouse teams. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, right? So that's 5 teams right there. Then you go down and you've got Auburn, Florida, Texas A&M, Mississippi,
Yeah.
Kentucky, right? Missouri sometimes.
Missouri's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think from top to bottom, the SEC is set for the long run. Because I mean, look at the Big Ten. You have like Rutgers and Indiana. They're never going to be good.
yeah. And
Northwestern.
Penn State's always overrated because their offenses, they do not score enough points. And in this playoff format now, if you're going to go in the playoff, you're going to have to score points. Last year was atrocious. Some of those games. Last couple of years in the big games, they don't score points.
Right.
And so I don't see them being that dangerous until they can score points like everybody else can.
And then for the Big Ten to be with the SEC, you need Michigan State, Purdue, Wisconsin, all to be good.
Right.
Yeah, because they've been slumping, especially Wisconsin's been not good for. They used to be good every year. They used to be 8-9 win team every year at worst. And Michigan State, I think they're going to go all in. That since they
does it hurt the recruiting of the Big Ten at all, or does it not matter because these are West Coast teams? Like, does it hurt those core old Big Ten teams with their recruiting, like the Michigan States, the Penn States, the Michigans, Ohio States, bringing in all of these Pac-12 teams?
It helps because now they can recruit California. But that's the same as all the SEC schools can recruit Texas and Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Because you can go for a recruit if you're Michigan State and be like, oh, yeah, well, your son will be playing UCLA or USC in their place. You'll be able to see your son play. It gives them a hope. That's why the whole, like when the Pac-12 became the Pac-12, they had to separate California into both divisions because they're like, well, we want to be able to recruit California.
Yeah. So you're saying it benefits the core Big Ten teams?
Yes, because now they can recruit California and they can still.
Well, then naturally those teams get better then.
Right. But that's the same as the SEC's got more of a stranglehold on Texas because now they got Texas A&M. So
and it's that competition recruiting that allows the other teams to go for the same guys that might go to Texas. Now they can go to Alabama or Georgia.
Right. But they're not, yeah, because they're probably, the mindset is they're going to go SEC now.
Right.
No reason for a Texas person to go to a Big 12 unless, you're not getting recruited by the SEC.
So probably that doesn't make a big difference between also Big 12 so Big 10 and SEC as far as recruiting goes, because both of them are gaining recruiting advantages.
Right. But it just is, which is the better recruiting advantage?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of feels like Alabama, Georgia were probably already getting Texas recruits.
Yeah, because of Texas A&M.
But it doesn't seem like Michigan, Penn State, would get a lot, or Ohio State would get tons of West Coast recruits.
Right.
No.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting because you're not going to, the problem is places like Wisconsin, well, definitely not Rutgers, and I'm sorry, Steve, to say, but Nebraska, they're probably not going to be getting any better. It's going to be like a very top-heavy conference.
Even though Nebraska did get a 5-star quarterback that a lot of teams wanted, SEC teams wanted, it was kind of a surprise.
Well, they'll always get their recruits because of culture. history, things like that. I don't know that. I mean, they have to have a good run to where they make some playoffs and compete to get back to where they were for sure. But they are a team that can do that, where some teams like you don't ever have that confidence in. I'm not going to take Purdue to win a lot of national championships in the future.
Or even, winning the conference.
Right.
All
right, so let's give our way too early prediction of the college national championship.
Oh.
You can give both, but winner is really what we're looking for.
Gosh, without seeing anything, I'm just gonna go Oregon, Georgia with Georgia winning.
Georgia national championships, Oregon making it to the final game. Love it.
I had to go Georgia, Ohio State, Georgia winning.
And Georgia again.
Even though Carson Beck is, I mean, there's a little bit too much saying he's going to be the number one pick, but that's lack of options.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge Carson Beck fan, to be honest. I need to see a little bit more than playing with the best players ever, around you. Like he hasn't had a lot of struggles, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's just not fair how Georgia's built.
Right.
They're just built at every position,
top to bottom,
3 deep. Like you're all going pro at some point. You might be third string and riding the bench. You're going to be signing a check in the NFL. It's like, wait your turn, do your job. In Ohio State, I don't know how they always get great wide receivers, and they got a transfer that's probably going to start. I think he was at Alabama, and I think that's good enough to get them there. It's not good enough to beat Georgia. They're just a beast.
Well, I'm going to throw it off a little bit because I'm going to go Ohio State, Alabama. And I think Alabama wins it this year. They may have lost a little. Like maybe you think they lost some coaching. Maybe they lost some transfers. Alabama's deep. I think they have a good coach coming in. And I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Because just to be honest, Milroe, he's really hard to guard. He does a lot. So that's I mean that's a little bold on the NCAA prediction, but I'm gonna go with that.
Well, that's why I would consider it, just because of Milroe, because he's so dynamic, and DeBoer he's gonna utilize him in kind of a way to protect him. He has limitations throwing the football, but who cares? He's lights out running the football. I mean, he's hoisting the Heisman just based on his athleticism. I mean, he should.
I think there's a good chance he'll win.
It should be Carson Beck, I guarantee you that, or a Gabriel, or those guys. It should be him. He should be hoisting the Heisman.
Wait a minute, you guys are forgetting the greatest team in the world,
Texas Christian.
No, the Colorado Buffaloes.
Colorado Buffaloes, dude.
Oh, jeez, we forgot. Well.
It's hard for me to believe that even after that year that they're still building a team good enough to compete with the powerhouses.
But they are in a weaker conference. But I don't think they get past Utah. I think Utah takes that conference.
Right.
That means they're not in the playoff.
Even if they get to the playoff, you got to play these stronger teams.
You're not gonna match up well.
Arizona's better than them too.
Right.
Arizona.
Yeah, at this point, I'd take Arizona or Utah personally.
I would take Kansas State and Oklahoma State over that.
I mean, you're getting deeper, but they got
So
to
are we
improve,
saying they're
though,
going to finish
right?
last? And then
Yeah.
another team they're gonna take up all the hype, all the news cycles, and they finish like fifth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
No,
then everyone will be like, Dion did such a great job. He won 6 games.
And Shador will
this
be the
is,
number one pick.
this is the year, though. Like, this makes or break Dion as a coach.
Oh, it does.
When you get that hyped, now everybody can sweep aside a first year, but nobody sweeps aside a second year. Yeah, if you still fail, you're gonna be in trouble. All right, so those are our picks. So we got. Did you both pick Georgia?
Yeah.
And I picked Alabama.
I'd also like to put also in the ring Texas.
Texas, they've got a lot of talent. They lost some talent that I wasn't happy with. Um, in specifically receiving tight end, and that's tough because
Yeah.
now you've got a quarterback trying to adjust to not as good a receivers.
Right. Oh, but people have said yours is the number 1 pick. So
I don't think he's bad. Like I'm a fan of him. I just think it's tough now to switch back to you don't really know what your receivers are yet. Where
right.
last year they did, like they knew what they had.
Do they see Alabama early this year again?
I know it's a tough schedule if they do.
Let's look at their schedule.
I guess my biggest thing is I don't know that a lot of teams stayed real deep after last year, and then anytime you're talking about transfers, it's not the best fit for your team. You don't know. I gotta go, and Georgia has been this way for years, which is building a dynasty, but Alabama is still kind of the ultimate dynasty in college football right now.
Well, we'll see what happens because Texas doesn't play Alabama, but they do play Michigan and Georgia and Oklahoma and Florida and Arkansas, Kentucky, and Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's not an easy schedule.
No, and they play Texas San Antonio, Roadrunners.
All right, well, that's our college football picks. Let's kind of finish off with our top 5 here. So we got HSC Podcast top 5. We're doing top 5 celebrity couples. So this can mean a lot of things. So I get, we could have a lot of potential differences because it's a broad range, but let's get into it. So number 5, what do you got, Derek?
So Caitlin helped me with this list, but I am calling an audible on my number 5 because my number 5. I'm going with the hot, young, new couple that's gonna be everywhere. I'm going Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you're going young.
You got Paul Skeens, the rookie for the Pittsburgh Pirates, starts the All-Star game today. And you got Livy Dunn, one of the biggest nil people in college as a gymnast at LSU.
Derek wins.
I mean, that's crazy because that's almost the opposite way of how I went.
That's just my 5. 5 is different
Yeah.
than everything else, but
All right, number 5.
I feel like they're a celebrity couple that's up and
like
coming.
up and coming, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good 5. All right, Wes, what do you got?
Because I'm such an expert at these topics. They weighs on my mind every day. I'm gonna go with David and Victoria Beckham.
Oh, you know what's funny is there were 6 on my list.
Yeah, it's just pretty standard. It's David Beckham. You know, have 4 kids.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 kids, been
cool.
together 25
They were married
years.
for like 20 something years.
Yeah, I don't know how many exactly, but I was guessing. But
I didn't know that until today. So.
That's a good one. I mean, when I looked at that, I was like, that's pretty cool. Let's see. So my 5 is Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann, which they're labeled as one of the funniest couples in Hollywood, but I actually love his writing, love her acting. They've been together for a long time, so for me, that they made the list just barely because of I've watched a lot of movies for that they've done or been in, and so it kind of hits home, which is good. All right, number 4. What do you got, Wes?
Got a tie.
You got a tie.
It's just like everybody's number 4 to me. This is like, but I have to go with George and Amal Clooney.
Oh yeah.
4. I mean, even though they seem to be everywhere. Every time I turn on, like when I accidentally press on channel 8, I'm like, oh shoot, it's Access Hollywood or ET. They're so involved in everything. The money they raise, their money, their connections, it's stupid.
Yeah, that's a good one. Not on my list, but they were definitely in the top 10. Let's see, number 4. This is probably not in a lot of people's top 5, but I got Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Not only they've been together for a long time, but they're in those kind of old school 90s movies that we loved.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know what you did, or I know what you did last summer.
And yeah, Scooby Doo.
Yeah, so they have a good story, and they're just people that fall into the realm of when I like those type of movies. So I threw them in at 4.
Gotcha. So you're going for more longevity and stuff with yours.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, my number 4 is a hot commodity right now. They've been together a while. My 4 is John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, why'd you take them though?
I mean, they're doing production. They've got those, what's it called, movie, the Quiet Place movies. They just did If together. They're doing producing. They're in movies. They're all over the place. Like to put it on like a TikTok or something. They're always getting interviewed. So yeah, and they've been together a while too.
Right. That's a good one. Let's see. So we're down to number 3. That's me. I got Denzel and Pauletta Washington. So yeah, if you're talking about longevity, they were on my list. It's kind of crazy though for them to be together that long. You're talking about like almost 40 years, and that doesn't happen a lot in Hollywood. Uh, they're a very unique couple also, where Denzel's kind of the popular one, and you don't hear much ever about his wife. So that brought him down a little bit for me. Otherwise, I could have seen him, near the top. But 40 years, that's impressive in Hollywood or not in Hollywood. So that's 3. What do you got, Derek, at 3?
Swifties are going to be happy with me on
Oh,
this,
Jesus.
but not too happy because it's not the number 1 Swifties, but it's one of her pals. I'm going Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah, Wes doesn't like it.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is everywhere, and it seems like Blake Lively's everywhere with Taylor Swift. So that's why I went with him with 3. Pretty popular couple.
Holly would agree with you on that one. All right, Wes. Well, if you don't like that at 3, what do you got?
Well, that
at
was
3?
my number 3.
Oh, maybe so. You do like it at
Derek always steals everything.
3.
I'm so upset because of the topic because I feel so passionately about this.
I mean, I definitely had them in there, but I don't know. There's something about um, Ryan Reynolds that I just think he's so fake. Maybe he's not. Maybe that's just me, but there's a lot of stuff where you look at that guy and you're like, nobody is like that.
Well, Hugh Jackman likes him, so Hugh Jackman knows things.
So I left them off my list, but I
So
still
you're not
think
a Mint Mobile customer?
I'm not a Mint Mobile customer. Even though what he just sold the company, right?
Yeah, and then what was his gin that he sold to?
Yeah.
Aviation.
So it's like make a bunch of money, sell it, and then don't care what they do to all the customers you promised all these cool things to.
Yep.
All right, number 2. Derek, you got us.
I think I'm going to steal one of Steve's now. My number 2 is Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. They've been together forever. 2 country music legends. They've done movies and TV shows together. So, yeah. That was a surprise one, huh, Wes?
Yeah, it is. It's not. It's a good one. I should have put it on my list
I mean, they are pretty iconic.
again.
Well, what do you got at 2, Wes?
Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's pretty standard. Can't really. That's a lot of superpower there.
It is. It's a ton. And they've been together for a long time.
Not as much as my number 1.
Don't steal my number 1, Wes.
Derek
Well,
can go
I might be at my
first.
number 2 here
He's totally gonna steal it.
with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
No, crap. It's over.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, it doesn't get much more iconic than those 2.
Overboard.
Overboard. But
Christmas
I mean,
Chronicles now, too.
let's be honest, Kurt Russell's carrying the team.
Dude,
No, but it was Goldie Hawn early, too.
have you
Yeah,
seen
I mean-
Wildcats? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I do love Wildcats.
Private Benjamin.
So I got them at 2. I know that probably ruins it for you guys, but that's my number 2. Number 1, Wes, what do you got?
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Not
Listen,
much
no
you can do.
How many years they've been together? Can't even believe. Kurt
Yeah.
Russell is, you know what? You know why Kurt Russell? He's a Disney actor. He was doing it. He's like, the only reason I do this, I need the money. I need the money for my family. He wasn't one of these Hollywood people that just want the attention. He's like, I really just need the money. He wasn't into everything else. So, Tango and Cat.
So it was super hard, to make that decision, but obviously Derek already gave up my number 1, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. So we're equally have done that. I mean, I can't not pick the couple that did our wedding song, so that would be probably not make me look too good. But I also am more of a country fan than most people are when it comes to music. So their music is very inspiring to me. Where again, I love Kurt Russell movies, Goldie Hawn movies. If I had to choose, I'll go with the music of those two.
You're taking their music over Big Trouble Little China?
Don't take the
But
girl.
Used Cars, The Thing, Escape from New York.
Well, I said Kurt Russell's carrying it. I mean, you're just naming a
But
bunch of
here's
Kurt
the
Russell
thing.
movies.
All Goldie
Hawn
Hawn needs is Wildcats.
and Overboard.
Yeah. But that's Kurt Russell, though.
Well, when you have Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson in your movie, it's really not fair.
Whoa, Wildcats.
So I think we know what you got at number one, Derek.
Yep. Yep. Just like in any other list we do, we torpedo each other, right?
So Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell, number one for both of you, number two for me. But a couple unique ones there. If I don't here's an interesting one. What do you guys think of this? Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick.
Yeah. They've been together a long time.
That was in Hollies, and that one surprised me because I didn't think of it at all.
What? Oh, I saw that.
Or, Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Right. She also made a pretty good argument for LeBron James.
I don't even know his wife's name.
Marrying his high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
You
Well, if
think
we're
about
going
him.
longevity and stuff, yeah.
Well, and it's good longevity, and the guy's still only 40?
Well, the power couple we forgot is Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson.
Yeah.
Been together forever.
They were on my list, and I took them off, I think, at number 7 because they're just boring.
Yeah. What about hot couple Zendaya and Tom Holland?
Yeah.
They've been actually together for a while now, it seems like.
I like Tom Holland. I was a little surprised with some of the lists that I went through. And I just realized I'm probably not up on the entertainment industry right now.
Well, and then Caitlin actually said Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, of course. I mean, who doesn't say that right now?
Right. Or this one kind of on the rocks again, but J-Lo and Ben Affleck, right?
Oh,
Dude, I couldn't do Bennifer.
he looks miserable.
He does. He looks like just end it.
Dude, like this dude's like, just put me down.
Matt, dude, need to come to the rescue. Take me to Vegas, dude.
No, he's like, take me out the desert, shoot me and bury me.
I don't see why
It's like I'm a family
Jennifer
man
Lopez.
now. Forget you. I'm not doing that stuff.
He's like, I'm so sick of her trying to be the most athletic, youngest looking 59-year-old ever. He might as well just get with Tom Cruise. They should just become a couple.
That's a power couple.
You know what the power couple should be though, right now, especially if you watch every commercial, like the last 2 years, the Mando girl and the My Pillow guy.
Jeez.
Dude, you know how much that chick is on TV? And then My Pillow the last couple of years, it's like I want to get an island and I want to send them both there so we can end this.
That'll be your new reality TV
couple.
show.
Yeah.
Annoying
Power Couple
power
Island.
couples.
Power Couple Island.
Yeah, it's funny because just a few years ago you might have thought Tom Brady and Giselle, right?
Oh yeah.
I almost said that, but then I forgot. I was like, oh, that's
It's funny how
Giselle
there's
and
a
their
few of
karate
those that
instructor.
you thought were those power couples that aren't anymore.
Well, you could do is it Olivia Copa or Hope? What's her name? And then Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, that's not power couple though.
They just got married, and that was a big power couple. Though she's actually isn't. What was she? Like a model, or what is she?
There's more entertainment. I think sports stars don't get the same as movie stars.
Right. Yeah, because it takes a lot for like Caitlin's like, who's that? I don't know.
Right, exactly. More people are exposed to the music, the TV, the movies than sports.
Well, I guess Olivia Culpo was Miss Universe.
Oh, that's right. She was. She was Miss Rhode Island.
Yeah. And I still couldn't pick her out of a lineup.
Yeah.
But you're always gonna pick Tom Hanks out of a lineup.
Yeah. I don't know if you could pick Rita Wilson out of a lineup though.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
We
That's
should
why I left them off my list, is she's just not power of the couple, you know.
we should give our limited audience a break from this for a couple weeks and then come back with if we were gonna form our own power couple, like fantasy.
Are we gonna match make some people together?
Like a fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy top 5 couple. I like it. That's what we should do. We should do our fantasy top
wreck
5.
some marriages. It's gonna happen. We're
Well,
wrecking
we'll
some power couples marriages.
we'll be getting into season 6 here soon.
Oh jeez.
We'll have another break here, and then football season starts, season 6. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. So maybe fantasy power couple drafts we can throw in there.
I'm totally gonna match Aaron Rodgers somebody. It's gonna be Katie.
Oh, that's good stuff. So that's let's
I gotta check to see how old she is here.
put down our top 5s real quick.
Oh,
Wes, you probably didn't write yours down.
it's all
I
my
got the
head.
perfect Aaron Rodgers power couple, okay?
He's already on top of it. All right.
Aaron Rodgers, Greta Thunberg.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god, dude.
That
Oh my god.
we're trying to like be not opposite.
Dude,
Come on.
you would just keep her in the dark room. He's like, all right, let's go in, honey. All right, you stay here. I'm out.
That's just horrible.
Yeah.
All right. Let's break it down. HSC Podcast top 5 celebrity couples. I have number 5, Judd Apatow, Leslie Mann. Number 4, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar. Number 3, Denzel and Pauletta Washington. Number 2, Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell. And number 1, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill. Derek, what do you got?
Number 5, Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn. Number 4, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt. Number 3, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively. Number 2, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill. And number 1, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Wes, what do you got?
Number 5, David Beckham and his wife. I think her name's Victoria.
Victoria.
Like that. And then George Clooney and Emil, what's her face? Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Jay-Z and Beyonce, and Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
And there you have it. Those are our 3 top 5s, celebrity couples. I gotta admit that Jay-Z, that one that was in there, but I dropped it out, so that was good to throw that one in there. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. HSC Podcast 114. We got a top 5 in there. Listen back for that, and we'll recap some of the footballs as we close out here. Pro football, when's that start for everybody?
September 8th?
Is that
You
the
mean-
Hall of Fame game? Is that the first?
Oh, you mean you're talking
Hall of
about
Fame games like in August. Like,
this is August something 8th, 9th,
August?
5th.
So early August, we'll have our first preseason.
Gonna be Chicago versus Buffalo. I don't know.
Or
Chicago's
Texans?
playing.
They
Oh,
play
the Texans.
Texans?
Playing Texans. No one's gonna play though.
But the reason we bring that up is because we're talking now, what, 2 weeks away?
August
weeks.
1st.
Yeah, 2 weeks away, right?
Yeah. I'll be in beautiful Maui, Hawaii.
Yeah. So we'll come back after that and we'll start with our football covering fantasy football preseason, going into the NFL season. 2 weeks away though. We got semi-real football to the regular season.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks from the Olympics too. Like a week and a half.
Maybe we'll be throwing in some Olympics here in the season 6 podcast.
USA, right?
Not anymore. They're probably out there rooting for other countries. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and like, watch on YouTube. Appreciate all listens on Spotify and either Apple Podcasts. So we'll see you guys next time.